From designing houses for others, till dying too young and not being able to design one for herself, Joanna Yates, a young architect, was murdered in a gruesome manner, which many may call inhumane. Let's get to the core of it. Born in 1985, Southern England, Joanna was a person who loved being outdoors, exploring the wonders the world has for her. Who would have thought that she would not get enough time to explore everything? She had a boyfriend, Greg Reardon, with whom she moved to Bristol in 2010, and started working at a building design partnership, an architectural engineering firm. She was living the life she dreamed of with her boyfriend. Until December, Greg had to go visit his family back in Sheffield. Joanne was alone for the weekend in Bristol, her first weekend alone in Bristol. While he was out, she decided to spend the evening with some workmates at the Bristol Round pub. Oh yes, things went way ahead than just a simple weekend. Stay with us. She called it a day from the pub at around 8 p.m. and stopped at the supermarket on the way back home. She picked up some cider, got a pizza, and decided to have a tasty meal and stuff. Well, this is the last thing we know of her. Greg was constantly trying to get in touch with her through calls and texts, but it all was going straight to the voicemail. Fast forward to 19th of December around 8 p.m., Greg was back home. He found her phone inside her coat. So, did she go to the pub for the first time alone without her mobile phone? Sounds unlikely. He then found her purse, the house keys, and other accessories that belonged to her. This is where he felt that things were not adding up. Her parents did not know where she was, neither did her colleagues or her friends. She was immediately reported missing. Her friends, family, and boyfriend all decided to raise awareness among people about Joanne. They even set up a website. Nothing seemed to be working out. They started losing hope. Given that her coat, phone, keys, and purse was home, a possible explanation was that she must have reached back home from the pub before anything happened to her. They found the 2 bottles of cider she bought that night, out of which one was opened. One thing which did not match with the intel which they had was the pizza. It could not be found anywhere at home. They did not even find the package at home. The only thing they found at home was the receipt. The police took this up and decided to work this case starting with the missing pizza. In an interview, the police showed the media the same pizza which she had bought with its packaging. They alarmed the general public to let the police know if they found the pizza or its wrapping in any shady place where it did not really belong. Now, apart from the missing pizza, another major clue is that there was no sign of a forced entry into the house. So investigators were confused if they should consider this as an abduction. Another possibility was that it was an abduction, but by someone whom she knew. The case was all over the place. But wait, the story does not come to an end here. On the day of Christmas, Joanne's frozen body was found fully clothed, with just one exception. One of her socks was missing. Does that mean anything? Well, what we do know now is the location where she was last present. Joanne's body was found near a quarry just 3 miles from her home. According to the reports, which came a bit later than usual due to the frozen condition of her body, declared that the cause of her death was strangulation. This turned the abduction case into a murder case on the day of Christmas. A 25-year-old woman who would have had a great evening with her friends, family, and her boyfriend on the day of Christmas was found strangled to death. Given the condition of her body, police suspect that the body was probably there for the past couple of days. Otherwise, of course, it was not possible for her body to have frozen up. Finding Joanne's killer turned into one of the biggest investigations in the Bristol area. The route which she took was carefully examined. Many tips were taken by the police from anyone and everyone who they thought may know something. It was the biggest investigation ever. Not only this, did you know that a community program called Crime Stoppers even offered $10,000 to anyone who provided information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the murderer? Hold on till we tell you the biggest prize. Sun newspaper came in and offered $50,000 for the same information. The murder took a huge toll on the residents of Bristol, the family, friends, and her boyfriend. Now you know what everyone knows. Let us take you to things which not a lot of people knew about that night. That night, say around 9 p.m., one of the neighbors, a woman, claimed that she heard 2 very loud screams, and she was quite sure that it came from the direction of Joanne's flat. So let us put that into perspective and add it up to what we all knew already. We noticed that the flat was in a good condition, so no one would have broken in applying force. But what if someone was inside the house already? The scream could have been the result of her getting scared of this murderer in her house. Fancy that? But that's not it. Another neighbor who lived behind Joanne's house claimed that he as well heard a woman shouting, "Help me!" But he isn't sure when or at what time did he hear it. Till now, there was no arrest made. But that will change soon as we progress through the story. Christopher Jeffries was arrested 5 days after her body was found, in connection with Joanne's murder. Wait, why? Wasn't that just out of the blue? Let us dig deeper. According to the other people who lived in the same building, the landlord, as a result of his conversation with Greg, knew that Joanne was alone that weekend at home. They say he could have plotted something really bad. Is that enough as a reason to arrest, though? What is this? A dictatorship? And as we all feel right now, the English teacher who just looked weird was cleared of all charges and was a free man according to law. But not for society. The search for the murderer therefore continued. But it did not take long since then. On the 20th of January, a Dutch national, Vincent Avec, 32 years old, who lived next door with his girlfriend, was arrested. Reasons? We'll get to that. The interesting part is he was cleared off from all of the doubts much earlier in the case. He even spent a great new year in the Netherlands. So what brought the attention back to him? The answer to that would be an anonymous call through Crime Watch. Moreover, upon testing, it was found that the DNA found on Joanne's body matched with him. Looked like he was a bit negligent. Vincent even tried playing smart by putting the accusation on Christopher. He contacted the police a month earlier when Christopher was arrested, saying that he saw the landlord up and about in his car quite a few times. Upon receiving this information, police immediately traveled to Amsterdam and interrogated Vincent for over 6 hours. Police immediately noticed that Vincent's behavior was a bit suspicious. The police said that though he did speak about Christopher, he was more interested in the forensic examination. Well, that means that he had an idea that he may get into trouble because of it. As soon as the police felt something was fishy, they decided to take his DNA samples and fingerprint profiles. This gave Vincent a hard time, but of course he could not deny them. Questioning continued, DNA profiling results matched, and he was taken in on the 22nd of January, after 96 hours of questioning. He had to be moved from Bristol jail and was also kept on a suicide watch. Now let us dive a bit deeper into why he did it. Vincent was an engineer by profession and worked at a consultancy. He has been living with his girlfriend for a year before Joanne and Greg moved in. While Vincent was out for work in different countries, he used to contact sex workers for his pleasure. Upon searching through his history, it was noticed that Vincent had a thing for girls who looked like Joanne and violent porn. Well, knowing that he was caught, it is said that he confessed himself being guilty and wanted to plead so in the court. But he said that he did not intentionally do it. He pleaded guilty for manslaughter. Oh, there were a few more details that did not make it to the public in the autopsy reports. There were 43 cuts, bruises, and a fractured nose on Joanne's body. So clearly, when Joanne was alone, he approached Joanne and ended up doing things which he should not have done that night. Or rather, any night. Vincent claimed that Joanne had invited him in. Beat that for a twist. He says that Joanne gave him hints, so he went ahead and agreed for a drink with her. When he attempted to kiss her, Joanne screamed, and that's when he accidentally killed her. Of course, no one believed a word he said. So as a result, the court sentenced him to spending his entire life in prison. But after all this, did you know? Vincent even left his girlfriend a message shortly after killing Joanne that he was bored. Beat that for ruthlessness. We'll be back with more stories. Stay tuned and stay curious.